Everyone, I'm Dino Bidala, and welcome to tonight's Dino Bidala Show on SiriusXM Channel 127, Wednesday, May 19th. And if you're just tuning into America, folks, the GOP is trying to whitewash and cover up the January 6th terrorist attack incited by their leader, Donald Trump. Unreal. This is the party that's gone from leading the call to fight terrorism to now defending terrorism. And that's not hyperbolic. First of all, this was a terrorist attack. What happened on January 6th fulfills the definition of domestic terrorism under U.S. law. There's no disputing. It was use of violence for political gain, and that it was to affect policy using intimidation or coercion. It was a terrorist attack. So there's no disputing that. You can debate, is it insurrection? Is it a rebellion? Was it domestic terrorism? Absolutely. 100%. The GOP now is trying to whitewash it. They are literally defending the terrorists like Ashley Babbitt, defending a terrorist and demanding absolute loyalty to the guy who incited the terrorist attack, Donald Trump. That's your GOP. That's what you got. It's unreal. They're going to vote in a short time from now in the House to create a January 6th independent commission, just like a 9/11 commission, fully bipartisan, equal, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, both subpoena power. They had made a lot of compromise, the Democrats, but then the Republicans don't want that, because they don't want an investigation because it's going to implicate Republicans in Congress. They're voting to cover up an investigation into themselves. It's like the bad guys in the House. They're right there with them. That's what's going on right now. And Mitch McConnell today came out and got his essentially his directions from Donald Trump last night, who put out a statement against the January 6th commission. And Mitch McConnell did exactly what Trump wanted. He came out against the commission. They don't want the truth. They don't want to know with one voice that is bipartisan. Because, yes, Democrats can do their own investigation in the House. Absolutely. But it's Democratic-led. So it's easy for Republicans and maybe even some in the middle to say, I don't trust it. It's partisan. A truly bipartisan commission like the 9/11 Commission has a lot more credibility in their report. And in that investigation, they will tell us who funded the January 6th terrorist attack. I'm sure they will tell us, are there Republican members of Congress who are in communications with people in the Proud Boys and the militia groups, even if it doesn't rise to the level of a crime, I'm saying, because there's a criminal investigation. It might not reach that level, but Americans, we want to know if they're communicating with these terrorist groups. To what was Trump's role in all this, and we saw it, but there are things behind the scenes. It comes out in a credible bipartisan report. It's really hard for the GOP to get around that. That's why they're destroying it. Meanwhile, we had 140 police officers, the Capitol Police, injured, some very severely. Brian Sicknick, a police officer in his early 40s, dies of a stroke the next day after being pepper sprayed and beaten. And the medical examiner says he died of natural causes. How many 42-year-olds that you know died of natural causes by a stroke? And we're supposed to believe him being pepper sprayed and beaten up the day before had no connection? Of course it did. They killed a police officer. So it's not bullshit here. This is what we're living with now. We're living with gaslighting and lies by the GOP. There was a time that George W. Bush said, you're either with the terrorists or you're with us. The GOP's made their choice. They've chosen the terrorists. I'm not being hyperbolic. It was a domestic terrorist attack. You have Republicans like Paul Gosar and Marjorie Taylor Greene, both defending Ashley Babbitt as some kind of hero and denouncing the police officer who shot and killed her. Ashley Babbitt, as the DOJ's report in saying the shooting of her was justified legally, jumped through the window into a secure area in the Speaker's Hall, which would lead to the members of Congress and maybe even Vice President Pence at the time. She knew she was not supposed to jump through the window. They were telling them, don't come through. She jumped through. She was a risk, a threat to members of Congress. That's why she was shot. Is it tragic loss of life? Yes, it is. But was it justified legally? Yes. And by the way, Ashley Babbitt, a devout QAnon supporter, had tweeted she was going there for the QAnon storm. You know what the storm was? That's the day in QAnon they believed that Donald Trump's enemies would literally be executed. So she was going there to support the execution of people who are opposing her beloved Donald Trump. The GOP is supporting and defending that person, a person who attacked our Capitol, who was there to support the murder of members of Congress and Vice President Pence and anyone else. That's what the GOP is. They are whitewashing, they are defending terrorists, and they're demanding absolute loyalty to the man who incited a terrorist attack. This is where we are in the GOP. And given the choice, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. The GOP has not chosen us. They've chosen the terrorists. We'll talk about that a lot more on my show. Got a great show tonight. Congressman Chuy Garcia from Illinois is going to join us, talk about Palestinian human rights. We have Glenn Kirshner, former federal prosecutor. We'll talk about the issue we just covered, plus a new investigation in the Trump organization. And our friend Aisha Mills, talk about a lot of stuff in politics. My show's live 6 to 9 on Sirius XM channel 127. If you're going, but Dean, I don't subscribe to Sirius XM. Go to the website. There are free trials. Check it out. Call in, be a part of our family. We got a lot of work to do. If you want progress, stay active.